there is no solution to laziness. I honestly, wholeheartedly, and fully believe that. And you're probably asking yourself, like, why would someone even say that? Why is this even a video? Because there's so much self-improvement content out there that will tell you otherwise. But if you can just hear me out, I think you'd also agree. And the reason why I feel like I'm personally qualified to talk about this is because I've been through it all. I've been through depression, been suicidal, I've been broke trying to make money and trying to make a living for myself, coming from a third world country. And one thing that has kind of been a glimmer of hope for me was YouTube and the self-improvement space, because for the longest time I always told myself, okay, if I just keep pushing forward, if I just keep working, if I'm disciplined enough, surely something will give and I will be better off at the end. You see, I am what you call a gifted child. Back in school, I always got good grades, even though I never studied. People used to be like, oh, you never study, but how are you getting these grades? And it just used to be the case. As up until 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, that's when I just kept getting 50%, 45%, and that was just my reality. But I've always been talented in other things, stuff like art. And then during that 3-year period, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, I also picked up music and I became really good at it whilst still doing art. I obviously learned a lot of useful and valuable things like first principles thinking, critical thinking, mental biases, going off the top of my head, concepts like how your mind shapes your reality and what you think is what you end up kind of becoming in a way. And throughout that whole experience, I have struggled, bruh. It has not been easy. It was just bad. First of all, not to like vent on some woe is me, but like it's just my reality and the life I'm living. I'm not from a good background per se. I don't want to say where I live or where I come from, but things could be way better. I mean, like, even just a small bill would be enough. And it's also not all bad stuff. I mean, throughout that whole period, I still accomplished a few things. I mean, I got myself better clothes. I worked for like 6 months to be able to afford a second-hand laptop for $120. And I also got a drawing tablet, which is around 20 to 30. I'm not sure the exact price. I'm just trying to do some mental math with the currency so I can just give y'all a rough estimate. But it was around 20-30 USD. And I also got this mic, which was around 90-80. So I still kind of did something, you know. It wasn't all bad. I still had some accomplishments to look back on and say, whoa, I actually did that. Not to mention this channel is at 80 subscribers, which is damn. Okay, so why am I saying there's no solution to laziness? Because when people say lazy, they usually act like it explains everything. Like the person just doesn't care, or they're just missing some magic trait that everybody else has. That's what I thought for a long time. I used to just think, oh, if I could just find the solution that's gonna help me be more disciplined, more consistent, and less lazy, I'll be fine. Well, guess what? It never happened. I never found it. What I did realize though is a lot of the time what people call laziness is just someone who's like overloaded mentally drained, emotionally tired, stressed out, stuck in a bad environment, or just not having the kind of energy available to do anything. I'd found myself stuck in a hole of depression and just procrastination and laziness, and trying to punch myself out of it with nothing actually happening for a long time, and then miraculously locking in for a month before I proceed to do absolutely nothing for 6 months, while constantly watching self-improvement videos, talking to ChatGPT, trying to understand why I can't get off my ass. I was always told, this is the solution, this is the solution, this is the solution. There's only one solution to laziness. You can solve laziness, you can fix your problems, you can change, you can do all of these things. It kind of took me a while to understand this whole puzzle, but eventually I realized that there's no solution to laziness. But all of these things wouldn't be this popular without something being true, right? I think people want there to be a solution to laziness because that feels simpler, cleaner, easier. It's easier to say wake up earlier, build better habits, quit being soft, go work harder. Those sounds like answers, but in real life, you can say that all you want, nothing's gonna change. Because different people are dealing with different stuff. One person is lazy because they're bored, another person is lazy because they're depressed, and another person is lazy because everything in their life feels heavy and they're tired before they even start. Another person is lazy because nobody ever taught them how to move with structure. Another person is lazy because they have been failing for so long that their brain basically stopped expecting things to work. So when people keep throwing the same advice at everyone, it just feels wrong. It's like having a conversation with that one dude who came from a rich family and telling them that you don't have money, and then you're just oh, you just get a job, just do this. They always just miss the point. It's the same thing with these self-improvement gurus, or it's always just it just gets annoying sometimes. Not because discipline is fake or habits don't matter, but because all of them act like everyone is the same and they have the same starting point. Everybody has the same house, same stress, same support, same brain, same motivation, and the same level of peace. When that's not how life is. Nobody has that. They don't. They just don't. Because imagine being a kid in a toxic household, for example. You're already dealing with stress or fear or arguments or just trying to survive the day. Then on top of that, someone just comes and tells you to be more disciplined so you can make something of yourself. The kid is already tortured by their moms and their dad always fighting and just having to just walk on eggshells every day. And you just come and just tell them, oh yeah, you just make something of yourself. What? Because what ends up happening is that kid might misread their suffering as laziness. They see the outside behavior, them not taking action and just procrastinating actions and not doing anything, but they don't see the weight or the impact or what causes that inaction or just lack of energy. And you can relax. I'm not gonna be ranting the whole time, being a victim the whole time. I have kind of a solution, not a solution in a sense, but a different way of looking at things. What I've realized is a lot of what shapes us is not even motivation. It's more the things that come to you or the things that already are in your surroundings, in a sense, your inputs, what you live around, what you hear every day, what you get used to, what feels safe, what feels positive, and what also feels pointless. People don't just wake up and become a certain type of person. They adapt to what they're already living in. That's why changing somebody's environment can do more than yelling at them ever will. Personal example, you see, my grandma is not the type of person who likes to be very proactive in things. She's more of a passive person. So every time we need to take out the trash, she just takes it and puts it at the door. And obviously, every time I sit there, I just see the trash there and I'm like, okay, let me just remove it. Because she'll ask us, go take out the trash, and no one will do anything. We'll be like, oh, okay, we'll do it, but nothing will happen. Thing is, the brain is always learning, it's always adjusting, it's always trying to figure out what kind of world it's in. If the world keeps teaching you that effort leads nowhere, your brain starts acting accordingly. If the world keeps teaching you that things are unsafe, your body stays in guard mode. If the world keeps draining you, you'll eventually stop moving the same way you used to. What I'm talking about is adaptation that leads to decay. Because I know some of you in the comments will say something like, oh no, people adapt, we grow stronger, we do this, we do this. Well, there's a difference between the pain you receive from doing push-ups versus the pain you receive from getting cut in the ribs with a knife. So yeah, I don't think laziness has a cure. I think the better question is, what is making the person unable to move? What are they carrying? What has life trained them to expect? What kind of environment are they in? What kind of energy are they waking up with every day? Because if you can find the answer to that question, you'll usually find out that the problem was never just laziness in the first place. And that is why there will never be a solution to laziness, because humans do not transform, they adapt.